think there is no work-life balance anymore? Do you think that it's becoming a drag to go to office every day? There is just so much stress. Now, I do want to share with you what are some easy ways to deal with stress, reduce stress. But before we get there, let's really be sure if what we are experiencing is stress. Don't we sometimes use stress as a way to show how important we are, how busy we are? In fact, if you're not stressed enough, we start feeling that you're not doing enough. And it just becomes a part of our conversation each time we're telling people about our life. Stress just makes its way. And we'll end up saying, oh God, बहुत stress है life में. There's just too much going on. And that is the first thing to drop. Before you really find ways to deal with stress, let us first see if we are truly experiencing stress or are we just creating it in our mind. After having done that, let us see if there are better ways to deal with stress. Now, stress is basically a condition where there is some kind of unpredictability, uncertainty of what's happening right now, what's happening next. You feel overloaded. There is just too much going on and you think that you don't have the capacity to deal with all of it. For now, I want to just focus on how to manage stress at work because of the responsibilities that you have in your work. There are other areas that we need to look at when it comes to stress as well. But for now, let us see what can we do to reduce stress with our responsibilities at workplace. So here is the first thing that you need to do. You've got to understand that corporate pyramid is a pyramid, which means as you go up the ladder, there are lesser and lesser number of people and hence lesser opportunities to accommodate people. If you think you're really good at what you do, I'm sure you would agree that there'll be a few others who would be very comfortable and confident to claim the same. Who gets picked is a different question and a different discussion for another day. But what's important is to understand that everything about growth and success revolves around your performance and your interpersonal skills. How well do you connect with other people around has a direct influence on your growth and success. Which means you've got to find a way to work closely with your line manager. Even if you don't love that person, even if you don't really respect that person and you have a very big list of things which this person is not good at, well, let's accept the fact that as we speak, he or she is my line manager. And what I need to do is very genuinely, consciously, and willingly find ways to connect with this person a little better. The most important thing in any such relationship is to set the right expectations. A lot of stress gets built because there is a lot of confusion and no clarity in terms of what I am doing and what I'm expected to do. Make sure that whatever you're working on is not just your agenda. It also has to be aligned with your line manager's agenda. Otherwise, it's pretty much like running on a treadmill. You are exhausted, you're tired, but you're getting nowhere. So if you really want to make a good return on your effort, make sure that you set the expectations right with your line manager. And this needs to be done in a very systematic manner, not just a passing conversation, but sitting together and writing what is important, what should I be focusing on, and that should be an open-ended question to your line manager for them to answer so that you're clear about where am I going to get maximum return on effort. The second point is to decide on periodic reviews. Don't make this setting expectations a one-time activity. You've got to create a structure to keep reviewing these expectations periodically. Now that period could be a week, could be a fortnight, a month, shouldn't really be a quarter, but so be it if you can't manage any time before that. But if you can get to a weekly routine or at best a fortnightly routine of checking on the expectations, you know that you are still on track. And the third important point to remember to reduce stress is to learn how to prioritize. Yes, it is a skill that needs to be learned. You've got to know what do you need to focus on first? And I know right now you're saying something like this in your mind. Everything I do is important. Everything I do is urgent. Everything that falls on my table is forever important and urgent. And hence I can't pick one over another. Well, there are multiple tools available for us to learn how to prioritize. No matter how dense you think your situation is, there is a very simple way to understand what to prioritize. And for that, I encourage you to read up a bit, look up on how to prioritize tasks. You will probably find something that you haven't yet tried with all earnestness. Learn how to bring one thing on top of the other. And one quick tip for that is to go back to what is important for your line manager and make sure that is part of your top 3 priorities, if not the topmost. Learning to prioritize will take away a lot of stress, because that's where we also use a very popular but underutilized tool called Pareto principle, which says 80% of what we do adds only 20% value. And there is 20% in a long task list that we're supposed to do, which gives us 80% of value in return. We've got to find and identify that 20%. What are those 2 things out of your list of 10, which if done, will give you 80% value? To be able to identify that, it needs to be an exercise first done in isolation and then very quickly done with your line manager, so that you are on the same page as them. If you focus on these 3 and create a conscious plan towards bringing this to life, it will take away a lot of stress from your life and from your daily routine. It's only when we let go of stress can we focus on working towards success, because success should only be achieved with a lot of fun, ease and happiness, isn't it? So go ahead, let go of some stress. Let's bring this to life. Let's make our responsibilities a matter of choice.